Pour la première fois, Israël s'attaque aux responsables houthis au Yémen. Jeudi 28 août, le premier ministre houthi et plusieurs ministres ont été tués dans une attaque ciblée, inédite à Sanaa.
This is the 16th time that Israel has struck Houthi-held territories in Yemen. But what was different this time was that it wasn't just aiming at infrastructure. This time, it was aiming at a gathering of key government leaders.
Alors que les houthis ont organisé des funérailles lundi 1er septembre, les menaces de représailles se multiplient. Alors pourquoi cette escalade maintenant et quelles pourraient en être les conséquences dans la région? Nous avons posé nos questions à Elisabeth Kendall.
Threatening the leaders of the Houthis is not that new. They have always said that they could potentially at some point start taking out Houthi leaders. What's new is that they haven't done that yet, particularly. But I think that was probably because their intelligence was still playing catch up. Of course, the Israelis have had a long time to get under the skin of other members of the axis of resistance that Iran was mainly leading. Groups like Hamas or like Hezbollah, but it had not got great intelligence on the Houthis. They had not been a big priority for Israel until the last couple of years. And so what we're seeing now is that the intelligence of Israel has probably started to improve and that they're now able to target leaders. I doubt that this is a one-time warning from Israel because the Houthis are unlikely to listen to it as a warning. So I see this as two very hardline groups who both believe that God is on their side. Both of them think that they're on the winning side, and both of them typically become more hardline the more opposition they encounter. So I would see this as the beginning of an escalation between the Houthi regime in Yemen and the Netanyahu administration in Israel. These were not military leaders that were targeted last Thursday by Israel. The government that the Houthis have, this government is largely symbolic. It's a respectable face for a political leadership, but they are not the decision makers. They're not the strategists. And so it's not a massive blow to the Houthis, except, of course, in terms of their pride and their honour. It's likely that the Houthis still have significant military capability. And the reason for that is that despite the very intense airstrikes, particularly by America, which launched 7 weeks of intense airstrikes between March and May against the Houthis, they have managed to keep going. They have a lot of experience of hiding their weaponry. They've had many years to build up stockpiles of weaponry, and they have the capability to produce weaponry domestically, albeit not as sophisticated as what they have been getting from Iran. So, in short, I would expect this to become more intense, a conflict, rather than less intense in the short term. The escalation between the Houthis and Israel could have negative knock-on effects around the region. For example, if the Houthis try to exact revenge on softer targets, such as increasing their attacks on shipping in the Red Sea even more, or extending their theatre of operations in the maritime arena beyond the Red Sea and down towards the Gulf of Aden and even towards the Indian Ocean, or if they try to target other enemies inside the region, such as US military bases, and we do know that the Houthis have been trying to use different kinds of hydrogen fuel cells for their drones, which would give them a greater reach and greater stealth and therefore be more difficult to shoot down. Or they could just decide to turn their guns on allies of the United States, such as Saudi Arabia and the UAE, by trying to target infrastructure, oil infrastructure, water infrastructure inside those Gulf allies of the United States, which is of course Israel's biggest supporter. So yes, this could be worse. This could have knock-on effects around the region. It's possible. I think a de-escalation is unlikely, other than through a diplomatic agreement. But this could certainly be helped by bringing an end to the war in Gaza, because that takes away the rationale, at least the public rationale, that the Houthis are putting out there. So if there were an end to the war in Gaza, it would be very difficult for the Houthis to justify the continuation of their operations, and at least they would have to come to some kind of tactical halt in the short term.